In the National League, it feels like Scherzer is involved in the conversation just because we may not have that great everyday player. Carpenter's done well. Javi Baez from the Cubs. I don't know if you throw anybody else in there. But here was the one thing I wanted to ask you. I can give Scherzer the Cy Young. I have no problem with that. But if I'm going to include him in the MVP race, I got to hold him accountable for his team. If they don't make the playoffs, then how valuable is he? Because we've done that before where you'll say, well, hey, he got his team into the playoffs. Well, if he's not and Carpenter's not, then it might be Javi Baez who would be your MVP in the National League.
I agree. I mean, as you're saying it, maybe Freddie Freeman with, leading the league in hits or average. I'd have a tough time with that. By the way, don't sleep on Jacob deGrom. I mean, I know he's got, what's he got, 7 wins or something crazy?
Yeah.
But, statistically, I love Scherzer. I just love everything about him. Also, too, that's been a disappointment for sure what the Nationals have done. But deGrom is going to be right there. I mean, that would be really interesting to see how that plays out with a guy, the wins are out the window, especially with, the voters of having a better analytic, sabermetric mind now. We saw that a few years ago when King Felix won with 13 wins.
I just don't know if Scherzer has kind of distinguished himself enough for being an MVP. Cy Young, obviously, and it'll probably, him and deGrom, maybe it's a close race, but Scherzer, you got to win 24, 25 games, it feels like. If you're going to have a pitcher in the MVP race, and Scherzer hasn't done that, even though you could say he's the best pitcher in baseball.
I'm with you. But I think what makes it interesting, and you're making a great point. If Scherzer, what's he have, 17 wins? I think he's up there.
I think he's got 15 or 16. He just lost one. They blew one the other night. The bullpen. But
the reason why what you're justifying is that who really is standing out offensively. I mean, we just mentioned Baez with the RBIs and Matt Carpenter, unbelievable. He's with 33 home runs, and then you throw in a Freddie Freeman, and there's really nobody that's glaringly standing out. So I think a guy like Scherzer, assuming he continues with the strikeouts and racks up the wins and stays there with deGrom and ERA, he could be MVP.
Yeah.
And then he would be, 3-time Cy Young?
4 times, I think.
Oh, 4. That's right, 4. He's got 3.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.